How's it going? Hopefully, everyone's having a glorious Thursday. I certainly am. I and certainly am. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is kind of funny to be honest. Biden to build racist wall. According to the left, when Trump wanted to do a wall, he called it. Everyone called it racist. That's right. It's racist to build walls. Let them all in. According to Ground.News, also have another one from the AP. Biden says he can't stop the U.S. funds directly or directed for the border wall. So he's forced to do it. He wants to follow the law all of a sudden. Like saying I'm legally obligated to build the wall, even though I don't think it will work. And I don't want to break the rules. That's how they're spinning it. So here, President Joe Biden acknowledged that he cannot stop federal funds from being used to build the wall sections in the U.S. Mexico border wall, despite his oppositions on the barrier. He attempted to reallocate the funds but was unable to do so to legal constraints. To address the issue of illegal immigration, President Biden decided to utilize pre existing funding from 2019 to construct about 20 miles of additional border wall in Texas. He states that he had no other choice and emphasized that this move does not indicate a change in his stance on border walls. The decision to build additional sections of the border has been met with criticisms from immigrant advocates from Mexico, advocates of Mexico President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, who described it as a setback, and the announcement comes at a time when the Biden administration is facing challenges in managing the growth of number of migrants at the border. I thought the border was secured, bro. Let's see here. Out of curiosity. Other sources. Oh, different story. Let's see here. The Biden administration waived 26 federal laws that allow border wall constructed in South Texas using executive power often employed during Trump's presidency. The Clean Air Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, and the Endangered Species Acts were among the laws waived for this purpose. While Biden administration had initially halted the construction on the border wall, this recent decision marks the first time they have used their powers to approve the construction of new walls. The decision to waive federal laws and proceed with the border wall constructed has sparked criticism from environmental advocates who argued that the construction will damage public lands, endangered wildlife habitats, and hinder wildlife migration. According to the AP, the Biden administration says it's using executive power to allow border wall constructed in Texas. So what is it? Are you being forced to do it, or are you making it happen because you want to improve your image? And you're playing this little tightrope thing that you're saying, I'm forced to do it. I don't want to break the law. Congress says that I have to do this, so I'm going to do this, even though you have to forego 27 laws. Was it 26 laws in order for this to happen through executive order? The Biden administration says using executive power to allow border wall constructed in Texas. Now, this is the AP. It leans left. McAllen, Texas, AP. The Biden administration announced that they waived 26 federal laws in South Texas to allow border wall construction on Wednesday, marking the administration's first use of sweeping executive power to pave way for building more border barriers, a tactic often used during Trump's presidency. The Department of Homeland Security posted an announcement on the U.S. Federal Registry with few details outlining the construction in Starr County, Texas, which is part of a busy border patrol sector, seeing high illegal entry. According to the government data, about 245,000 illegal entries have been recorded in this region during the current fiscal year. See here, Russia invaded with about 50,000 people, 50,000 troops, if I want to say between 50 and 80,000, and we're sending them money to protect their border. But 245,000 illegal entries that have been recorded. Now, it could be some of these are re entries, as a one story I read. So the 245,000 may not be individuals, they could be repeat offenders, and we don't track that for some reason. There is presently an acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the border of the United States in order to prevent unlawful entries into the United States into protected areas. Alejandro Marcos, the DHS secretary, stated in the notice. The Clean Air Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, the Endangered Species Acts were some of the federal laws waived by the DHS to make way for construction that we use funds from the congressional appropriation in 2019 for the border wall construction. The waiver avoids time-consuming reviews and lawsuits challenges violations of environmental laws. With New York moves to suspend right to shelter as migrant, you can't make this stuff up anymore. Are we living in a simulation? Have we officially made it to clown world? Let's see here. Although no maps were provided in the announcement, a previous map shared during the gathering of public comments show a piecemeal construction will add up to an additional 20 miles, 32 kilometers, to existing border barrier systems in the area. The other concern that we have is that the area is highly erosive, and there's a lot of eros. I don't know what eros is, but that's okay. Said the Starr County judge. Actually, what is eros? I really want to know what eros is. This is going to be a noun. Deeply cut by intermittent stream or dry ditch. A brook, a creek. Gotcha. So it's a dry bed. Gotcha. I got one of those on my property. Let's see here. The Starr County Judge Elroy Vera, the highest elected official in the county, pointed out that the creeks cutting through the ranch lands are leading into the river. Starr County is home to 65,000 residents spread over 1,200 square miles, about 3,108 square kilometers. That includes ranch land as part of the Lower Rio Grande Valley National Wildlife Refuge. Environmental activists said structures will run through public lands, habitats of endangered plants and animal species like the ocelot, a wild or a spotted wildcat. I mean, cats are pretty resilient. I'm sure that they could rebound. Plants, you could just plant more of them. I plan to build a wall through it will bulldoze an impermeable barrier straight to the heart of the habitat and will stop wildlife migration dead in their tracks. It will destroy huge amounts of wildlife refuge land and this horrific step backwards for the borderlands. Lakin Hardal, a Southwest conservative activist for the Center of Biological Diversity, said Wednesday afternoon. During the Trump administration, about 450 miles, 724 kilometers of barriers were built along the southwest border between 2017 and 2021, Texas Governor Greg Abbott renewed those efforts as part of his ongoing immigration enforcement from the state level after Biden administration initially halted them at the start of his presidency. The Department of Homeland Security decision on Wednesday contrasts the Biden administration posturing when the proclamation to end the construction on January 20th, 2021, stated building a massive wall that spans the entire southern border is not a serious policy solution. U.S. Customs and Border Protection had no immediate comment. Let's hear the announcement prompted a political debate by the Democratic administration facing an increase of migrants entering through the southern border in recent months, including thousands who have entered the U.S. through Eagle Pass at the end of September. A border wall is a 14th century solution to a 21st century problem. It will not bolster border security in Starr County. U.S. Representative Henry Suler said in a statement, "I will continue to stand against the wasteful spending of taxpayers' dollar on an ineffective border wall." I'm pretty sure a lot of these politicians live behind gated communities to keep out riffraff off of their property. So clearly, the 14th century solution still works in the 21st century. I don't know what 21st century solution that they're asking, other than give these people green cards and give them work permits, which will flood the market of low-skilled jobs, driving down the cost of labor, which this is the worst time to do that because people are already struggling due to, I think, 14% inflation rate from since Joe Biden took office to now. Political opponents of the border wall said that the waivers should be used as a launching pad for shift in policy. After years of denying that the border wall and other physical barriers are effective, the Department of Homeland Security announced Representative a sea change in administration thinking. A secure wall is an effective tool for maintaining control of our border. Dan Stein, the president of the Federation of American Immigration Reform, said in a statement, having made that concession, the administration needs to immediately begin the construction of the wall across the border to prevent illegal traffic from simply moving to other areas of the border. I mean, walls work, borders work. Border walls work. How fencing works. For sure, a lot of you that listen to me have a fence for their backyard. Some of you may have dogs. You know that fence prevents the dog from getting out or prevent people from entering your backyard if it's locked. We have walls in houses and a door that could lock. No, is that going to prevent it 100%? Absolutely not. If someone's determined to come in, they're going to come in. If there's a will, there is a way. But if we can make it slightly harder for them to come in, then it's worth it. Because we really want them to go through the point of entry, but the other issue with that is that you're crowding that area and it's causing sanitary issues. Not to mention that you're overflowing the cities with humans that have a limited resource. And it seems like this federal government doesn't want to give the port of entries more resources. So I don't know. I also remember someone mentioned that Trump also got rid of a lot of immigration judges, and I don't think those judges have been replaced under this administration. So now there's a 3 to 4 year backlog to go through each one of these cases, which is being compounded by more people coming, which is going to add more people to the queue, which will make that backlog even bigger. It's like the issue that has no solution under our current system, which I think that's what they want. Maybe they want immigration reform, and I don't know what reform that they want. If someone could tell me what the reform that they want, I'd be more than willing to read up on it so I could form an opinion whether or not I agree with it or not. Everyone just says, reform. We need to reform the immigration laws. Okay, how are they broken? I want to know how they are broken. Not that they're broken because they're being ignored, but how are they being broken? But also good on Joe Biden for continuing to build this wall, even if it's 20 miles. That is 20 miles more that we are protected. And hopefully, this is something that's going to continue. Maybe every couple of years we get 20 more. And eventually, after a while, we'll have a border that is secured. With that being said, that is my video for today. Leave a comment down below if you know what reforms they are asking. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.